show you how we take all that stuff that we've been doing, the crittering, the tap and turns, these recalls, the short recalls, and apply it to a higher excitement area. So we've got dogs all over the place here, and so we're going to get started. I have a couple things to keep in mind. Again, we got to watch our dog's threshold. So if our dog is charging and lunging, they're over threshold. So we have to remember to keep our dog under threshold when we do this. This can get tricky because the energy here is a lot different than your controlled situation. So the big thing is monitoring your dog's interest. So like this dog getting in a car over there, and I can see that Ruby's interested, so I'm just going to tap the remote. Yes, good girl. And she looked away. I'm trying to set the tone from the beginning so that we aren't having a dog that's dragging me up to the dog park. I want her walking nicely in heel. So that's my first thing, is to make sure my dog is tuned into me. So I'm just going to take a minute, just kind of walk her around out here and see if she's tuned in or if she's pulling ahead, sniffing around, and really disengaged. I want to make sure my dog's pretty engaged with me before I even approach the dog park. So Ruby knows heel. He knows how to stay in heel. It's just important that I make sure that she is engaging with me, good girl, moving with me, that she's not hyper aware of her entire situation. If she's super hyper aware, now I'm going to struggle when I get to the dog park. So it's important to do some of this engagement work at a distance before we're dealing with dogs at a close proximity. Good girl. So these are just tap and turn walking. To give you an idea, we're on a 10 right now. Ruby's doing pretty nice. She's pretty tuned in, moving with me a bit. So we're going to go ahead and take it a little closer to the dog park. So what we're going to do, I'm probably going to walk the street over here. So this dog park, there are small dogs right here, the small dog section. So I'm watching Ruby. I'm looking for that moment that she's quiet. There's also got a dog over here. So I'm going to monitor her. If I see her get too interested, I'm going to do the crittering at the time. I want to make sure that she's paying attention to me and not so much the dogs everywhere else. There's a dog right over here. Girl. So Ruby's nice. Nice and staying with me. Guiding her back to heel. She's pushing ahead a little bit, which is again her probably trying to avoid that dog. So I'm just guiding her back to heel. So small dogs are something different. So we're going to be over near the grass first. We're going to start over here as we approach the bigger dog. So I just want to take a minute and see if she sees these guys. Yeah, I see these dogs. So what I want to do are some of my exercises I've been doing before. So I'm going to walk forward a little bit. All these dogs. Good girl. Right close to threshold because I got a lunge. So shows me I have to start a little bit farther back. To give you an idea, I dialed up. That's that letting the dog go forward and dialing up thing. Dog went forward. I increased pressure. That went up to 46. She knows what to do. She turns back around. Very nice. She also got into a lunge, so we're right there on the threshold line, so we're a little over threshold. So we're going to try that one again. We're going to approach forward. Back up. Yes, good girl. There we go. Much better. We also had like 4 dogs show up that first time. Yes, good girl. So now my dialing up is very minor if I have to do anything at all because she's moving with me, she's turning back around. That initial dial up that I did because she got pretty interested in these guys and we were on that line of threshold, that dial up from letting her go forward kind of set the tone for the rest of our exercise. So I want to kind of talk about finding the right numbers, and when you have bigger conversations like that where we went from 10 to 46 real quick, she's much more tuned in, much more aware of what I'm asking of her now because we increased pressure a little bit. I did not take her forward and just slam her for looking at the dog. I gradually increased pressure, and that gradual pressure increase showed her how to turn back around. walk and tap, or I walk forward and do a tap and turn. Again, trying to get my dog to pay attention to me and not so much the dogs and the dogs. So this guy's got everybody all worked out. If Ruby were getting to the point of barking, I would have to step back. I would have to step back. I need to create space. I don't want to get her barking and lunging. We're trying to keep her under threshold. So she's watching very closely for when I'm going to turn, which tells me she is ready. She's ready for me to start doing some tap and turns where I actually turn with her instead of leave her ahead of me. Because she's tuned in, she's checking in, she's looking up at me, she wants to see what I want, she wants to make sure she's doing the right thing. So we are going to walk towards these guys again. Let's go. We got a new dog kind of coming over. Tap and turn. Again, trying to keep her under threshold. I'm not interested in getting way up to the fence because I'm also looking at this guy and he's been significantly reactive to everything that's gone by, bicycles and people. So I'm getting kind of like right to the edge of the sidewalk there, or the road. If I got right on top of the fence, more than likely he would lunge at her. It's not fair. I'm not trying to get her lunged at, but I want her to be able to tolerate seeing another dog and being in close proximity with them. Let's go. We're going to walk over here. Nice, very nice. So now she's doing a little bit better with that. We'll take this to walking the fence line and getting her to not look this way, but keep looking forward and tapping on the remote. If for any reason a bunch of dogs start charging us, again, that adjusts her threshold. Even though there's a fence there, a bunch of dogs moving in towards her space is going to freak her out a little bit. So I'm going to help her give a little more space so we can be successful. The more repetitions we do of this in a row, then we can start to bring that threshold a little bit closer. But again, I want her to know that I have some control, that it's not just a bunch of dogs telling her space, that there's some control here. So we're going to start by walking the fence. Let's go. With me on the inside. So I'm not going to get right on top of the fence line. I'm doing a lot of guiding right now. You guys are making her right on top of it. So I'm going to give her a little bit of space. We're going to move a little bit more. Because that's a lot of energy for her to take in and expect not to react to. Girl. Yeah, we got a car coming. We'll let this car go by. So, but her movement got them all worked up, which is fine. That's what happens at the dog park. But I want to make sure I saw that the energy was picking up, so I gave her a little bit of space. She doesn't know how to handle all of that energy quite yet. So when I walk back and she's actually facing the side of the fence, we're going to have to be, we're going to actually have to be a little bit farther because she's on the inside of the fence. So let's go. So all I'm trying to do is just make sure she stays in heel with me. If I get a lot of eye contact over towards these guys, I'm just going to click the remote to kind of get her to focus back. We're at 8 right now. Yes. I'm going to talk to her a little bit. Yes, girl. A little tap there. Again, a lot of the taps are guiding her back to me. Not even corrections for the other dogs, just kind of breaking heel. Again, we're trying to create. Good job. Ruby's doing very well. If your dog was still struggling with the tap-aways, the backing up, the recalls, the crittering off the other dogs, that might be your whole session at the dog park, because you've got to get your dog to master that step first before you can get to this walking by, tapping, and walking stuff. You've got to get your dog to be able to turn away. So. A lot of it depends on how amped up your dog is at the time that you're doing this. Yes, good girl. So we're going to walk the fence line one more time. Pulls ahead, a little guidance back. That's all I want her focusing on, staying and healing. She's not worrying about these guys over here. And again, she's kind of pushing ahead a lot. She's trying to avoid the stress. She wants to get away from the stress, and I understand that. Guide her back to the heel. One more time. Everybody left. And the crowd is kind of parted from the fence, so she's feeling a little bit better about walking over here. But I'm not looking to get her right on top of the fence right now. She's not ready for that. You know, it's a lot of energy being barked at, being charged by other dogs. It's a lot for her. I want her to feel advocated for, so I understand that there's dogs there and need you to walk nice, but I'm not going to put her right on top of the fence yet either. She's not ready for that. Girl. All I need her to focus on is staying in her heel, staying tuned in with me, and like kind of, you know, learning to trust that I've got it. So again, if your dog's super reactive and you get here and your dog is struggling, even seeing dogs, you're going to be farther away doing crittering exercises. Lots and lots of crittering, lots of recalling off of the excitement of other dogs. Once you've got that, you can start moving towards tap and turns, whereas walking, tapping, and turning away. Get that walking motion, walking and heel stuff together. And then, once your dog's doing well with that, you can turn it into walking past with tap, tap, tap for eye contact, tap to guide back into heel. That's the point we're at right now. Ruby did very well. Good girl. Yes. So, just want to give you guys an update. Talk to you soon. Bye.